a lot of stuff has happened in the clown show over the last week.
And it actually hit home for us.
Yeah, like a lot of people, because we actually went to look at a Bugatti recently at Cario.
Almost did it.
We almost did it. We thought about it. And then, as any intelligent human being who loves money more than cars and understands finance and money, it didn't make financial sense to do it. So we said, to trade a Bugatti for an extra $1 million when we was like $700K deficit was a $300K loss. And if you actually know how to make money and you're not scamming money, then $300K is not something you do based on emotional impulse. You make good, smart decisions around car. That's what we teach at Exotic Car Hack. So we follow our own rule, and this is what we do. So we found out, actually, a former student of Exotic Car Hacks, too.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that part.
Yes.
You always leave me a little
student of Exotic Car Hacks who was banned because he now pretends to be doing car rentals and making all his money from car rentals, which is also bullshit. But
there it is.
Something just didn't look right on this. So something didn't add up.
You mean that he doesn't have a shirt on?
No, not that part. I mean, he might be tall, decent looking, and attract every 19-year-old on TikTok. That's the type of look they go for, or whatever, until they realize they're being gangbanged by a guy that gangbangs other dudes. But anyways, so the thing here, which I think is...
Hold on. Before you say anything, right in the middle of the screen, Real Wes Watson. Bugatti boys always give the best advice. Oh, man.
Always.
It just comes back on each other.
This is the thing. Scammers endorse scammers.
Yeah, for sure.
All the time. Because they don't want to be busted. So they always support each other so that no one looks at them.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's always like, if I don't speak the truth about someone else, no one will look into the truth for me. So that's why they're always afraid of these confrontations or anything. And
it's like smoke screens. They keep you lost in the smoke, you don't
look.
look.
They keep each other, and they're like, well, he's legit. And they hang out together. They take Bugatti pics together and stuff. And it's pretty sad. But this is really interesting because we saw the car. We knew the car. We talked about the car. And honestly, I was kind of not really 100% set on the car.
You weren't sold.
I wasn't sold on a super sport. I wanted a pure sport. But I was like, hey, you know what? If it makes sense, it makes sense. The problem is it doesn't add up.
Correct.
And it doesn't add up for a couple of reasons. So we know that Cario does certain types of very, very extensive rental/lease agreements that are incredibly difficult to get out of, but incredibly easy to get into. So that's not confusing as to how does this happen, because we've seen this 100 times over. So not new. But I want to point out something, because we talked about this on the show last time. And we talked about the power of understanding how life, like how everything in someone's life matches if they're really rich versus if they're pretend rich. We talked about this because I don't know if you guys realize, but when someone is rich and they flaunt a car, they will always flaunt the best car they own. They will not flaunt an ugly car and be like, I love this old Porsche, but I have a bunch of Bugattis. They always flaunt the Bugatti. That's okay. Like, flaunting a Bugatti is not the problem. I have one too. It's not an issue. The real larger problem is you always flaunt the best you have access to. So if you have the best Bugatti you have access to and your watch doesn't match because you have a $15,000 watch and you have a $4 million car.
There's a big discrepancy there.
If you're flaunting watches. Now, the argument could be, well, I don't care for watches. That's a good argument poor people make when they're trying to avoid having to cough up $200K cash for a watch when they can take a loan and basically put down $300K on these short-term kind of things. And what you see with these, and I'm going to predict this, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong, this car won't be here in 12 months. It'll be in someone else's garage in 6 months, in 3 months. It'll be in someone else's house. And someone might actually own this house or someone else will buy it, and this car, whatever. But short term, it makes sense. And then this Instagram post will be pinned at the top because we want people to see that, right? That this accomplishment was done. So it's the falsified sense of accomplishment. You see, Bugatti Chiron at 27. That's the accomplishment game. If you look at all of them, they do the same thing. Oh, Senna by this by that. It's always the same bullshit. But then I started looking into it because I was like, what does this guy do? Because I was like, let me look into it. I also had a lot of friends I'm going to leave unnamed that are very, very wealthy message me. And they're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, because that's crazy to just show up.
That's a big move.
It's a huge move.
Yeah, it's a big move. And if you go to his page, he's got some really nice cars. I'm going to give him credit. He's got some good looking cars. I don't know about some of these, but the Collie is a nice car. The SF90 is a nice car. These are nice cars. I know where they come from. I know what they are. But I'm saying they're nice looking cars. Nothing wrong about it. The larger picture is I saw this and I was like, wow, this is cool. And then I was like, wait a minute.
That house looks familiar.
Yes, the house looked really familiar. And I was like, where have I seen this house? And then I'm like, well, it seems that everybody from Miami who's either a trader or some kind of doing something trying to make money seems to live in the same fucking neighborhood. So I'm like, there's got to be something doesn't add up.
Are you guys sharing a house?
So let's use the power of deductive reasoning to share something. The Cullinan Series 2, roughly 500K.
Okay.
Urs Perf, roughly 300K to 800K. Revuelto, 600K, basic
1.4.
spec, whatever. Yeah, and then you have an SF90, let's say 500K.
So $2
million. Now you bought a $4 million car, $6 million in cars. Assuming these pictures are accurate, whatever. We're not saying that. Now, look up the house on Zillow.
1.8.
1.8, 4,000 square feet. Does it make sense that someone who has $6 million in cars
Has a $1.8 million house.
yes, who can barely basically afford a $15,000, $20,000 rent job, doesn't add up.
No, that math doesn't math.
Doesn't math when your car payments are $200,000, but your
house payment is not
doesn't
anywhere near
math.
that.
So what does that tell you? You're not investing in foundation. You're investing in clout. Anytime someone invests in clout before they invest in foundation, tells you they're not going to be around long enough. Because they're not interested in the taxes they pay. They're not interested in the growth they have. They're interested in the cash flow they make and how to continue to make more money. So they have to get the next circus monkey act together to basically try to make money. So this is a good example. The other thing we did is we thought this was the same house that someone else lived in. Remember? And I don't even think this was sold. Just to be clear, I don't even think this was sold to him. I think he's renting it right now. I think. Well, what does it show on the Zillow listing?
It sold. It just sold.
It just sold. Okay.
It just sold recently.
Okay, so someone bought it and basically
last year in March.
Yeah, exactly. So again, 1.8 million, $380 a square feet. Like where I live is $1,600 a square feet. I live in a 11,000 square foot house. And I have like 3 houses around the street. So what I'm saying is this is a good example again of like how you can just use that to kind of determine immediately. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. And then you also see the setup. They all get the cars the same place, and they all get the same watches the same place, and they all buy the houses in the same neighborhoods, which tells you that there's a group who probably owns a lot of this shit and is funding it and is basically willing to rent them out back to back to some of these guys and attracting them. So they're making it attractive to basically get in the trap. And so I'm not saying this is the same exact house, but we know it's the same neighborhood.
Yes,
and we know it's the same thing and the same content thing, and it's the same progression of bullshit over and over. And none of this shit makes sense.
They follow the same roadmap.
And none of this shit makes sense. No. Exactly. So this is, clown show number 2, which we're just debunking here just to show what it is. This is just a reality of how it plays out. And we can go deeper. I mean, you can see, I promise you this. I promise you this. The title is on in the name of the person. Okay. Which is none of the titles on the cars are in the name of the company. That's one of the reasons when Wes Watson keeps getting pulled over. He doesn't even have, they're like, this car's not even registered to you. What are you talking about? He's like, I pay cash for all my shit. And it's like, no, you don't. So all of that shit is a perfect example of, just complete disconnects. And part of the only reason, the only car he had, which he actually bought and paid huge money more, was his Bugatti, which is now for sale again. Because people have pitched me his fucking watches for the last 3 weeks nonstop. So something's going on. Probably all these bullshit RMs that look overly expensive for stupid money, whatever. Because he needs cash. Yeah, so it's not my problem. I don't really care for the monkeys. But I did call that he would lose $2 million in his Bugatti. In a previous video, he called me a clown on the internet. He's losing more than $2 million on his Bugatti. So just to make a point. Money doesn't lie, people do.
That's a good one.
Money never fucking lies. People do. Numbers don't lie. They don't give a fuck about you. Color's green. Don't matter about anything else. Never lies. People always create stories around how they make money, what happens. But it doesn't change that money doesn't lie.
So these guys get all together and they all rise together. Do they normally fall? Does the fall come for all of them in one go? Or
usually, when the behavior is that excessive, like you're investing $10K a month on a house, but you're investing $100, $200K a month on car payments or on rental agreements for cars, that's insanity. That's just stupidity to the highest core. Now, why? Because you can't stand out with just the Cullinan.
Yeah.
Maybe he has, and I used to say this to a guy that used to put logos of Performantes on his Gallardo. The poor guy died. He was part of my community. He was a nice kid, but he was confused mentally. He used to put, I have a Gallardo Superleggera. Then he bought a Huracan. He was like, it's a Performante. And I was like, it's not. And he was young. He was a young guy in his 20s, and he had a really nice car. And I asked him, I said, why do you do that shit? Why do you put all the stickers on your car pretending it's something it's not? Buy a fake wing on it and try to fit in it. And like want to wear a fake Richard Mille or some of the stuff he was faking it.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, why are you doing it? He's like, I'm trying to compete with all these guys and be invited in circles. And I go, you do realize that the more you fake your success, the more you're disrespecting your own growth. Because it's such an impressive feast to be 25 with a Huracan, to be even 27 with one of these cars, like one, a nice home. And that is such an incredible human achievement.
That most people will never achieve.
Most people.
Like never.
97% of the world will never touch.
Not even close.
Yeah. And yet, you're just pissing on it for the sake of trying to fit in with a bunch of other scam artists to see who gets the most attention. Like think about that. Like the fucking giraffe with the pubic hair on his face, the other Vincent guy, can't even drive his car past certain places because he's going to put too many miles and he can't return it after that. Like these guys are like the cancer
of the community.
They seem to be the cancer of the same fucking community because they all live there. So the HOA should be $6,000 a month.
The HOA must hate all of them.
Yeah, HOA president's probably in on it, like because every one of these fucking guys lives there. There's got to be a reason everybody lives in the same fucking neighborhood. They used to do this in LA with all the whores and OnlyFans. You know, they all lived in the same
Put them in the same house, yeah.
So whenever they did shit in the hallway, nobody was like, "Oh, why are you naked?" Because they were like, we're all fucking whores, so it doesn't matter. So it was what it was. So they were all doing it, you know? But this is fucking ridiculously insane.
Yeah. Like, and then that whole group is like you said that the houses start to look the same. You go over here, that looks really much
like... Well,
we
figured out this isn't the same house, but it could be.
It could be in the same neighborhood.
No, it is 100% the same neighborhood. But it can't... There's variations in landscaping that may have been out. Changed it.
We did some real investigative journalism.
I was trying to figure it out, and this guy was already busted on Voidzilla for his fucking bullshit. Like, these guys on poor, though, that's the argument. They're not like cash poor. We're not saying they don't got like 100 grand or why they're pretending to have an RM on or something. That's not the point. The point is when your behavior is creating more pain for others at your gain, it can't last forever.
Correct.
Right? Like I always tell people, like I sell courses. I don't have a fucking problem selling courses. I don't think there's a single thing wrong with selling courses. There's a problem for people who don't survive the internet 3 years because they're not really selling courses, they're selling a dream. Like our community online has been around for like 20 years.
Yeah.
20 fucking years we've survived the internet. Like we have crowned so many people, $1 million club earners, 500K club earners, 200K club or whatever. And we've done this for 20 fucking years. Longevity, community, like authenticity. These are the things that courses should be about. If you're an educator, you should teach. These guys aren't educators. They just come out of nowhere and they figured out how to get attention and they use that attention. They turn it into temporary money. And at some point, someone ends up doing something really stupid, and it gets on the news and is out. You know, like, and it's just terrible. And they just one after the other, they just keep grifting and getting caught on yet another like podcast or something where someone's like, "Well, what is this clown shit?" The Whistle Diesel, that monkey,
Whistling Diesel, yeah.
So he did a story with this guy pretending he wasn't like, and he couldn't even face when he got busted because the other guys were like, "This guy's a scam artist. Like, what the fuck are you doing?" He couldn't even live up to like, hey, maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you're misleading your audience. No, I just want money. But what is the guy doing? He's starting his own beer or whatever fucking thing. And it's not these kids. They don't think about it. They think they take capitalism to the level where they're like, at all costs. Doesn't matter.
They'll risk everything for it. And it's like, you say what, 3 years these guys normally come? They pop up, they leave.
They pop up, they get big enough to make decent money. And then they usually start to fall through the cracks. Meaning like... 5 years. Usually, I've always said the life expectancy in Miami is 5 years. So people expect to be around for 5 years. So they behave as if they're going to be done in 5 years.
But why would you? I don't understand. Like, I don't see the math for it. Why would I trade however long I'm going to be fucked for this for 2 or 3 years?
Because you don't necessarily get fucked. That's the thing. Like, they don't always get caught. I've seen plenty of these guys not get caught physically. Like, it's not saying they're doing something illegal. But like having ethics and understanding that you're helping people versus you're hurting people are two different things. So we're not saying they're doing something illegal per se. And maybe there's some finance law they're breaking somewhere. I don't fucking know. Yeah. But What I'm saying is when you're doing things that are in that area where you're destroying value for people instead of creating it, and you're focusing all of your money on the marketing aspects of getting more customers or clients, but you're not delivering, what happens? You're taking people's money and you're not providing value. So that's the contrary of how business and capitalism works. So the system overrides itself and basically wipes you out in 5 years. Now, some of them will go to jail, like Ty Lopez got away with it for years. And now suddenly he went overboard, he did something, and then boom. You know, he would have gotten away with it for years because there was nothing wrong with his programs. They weren't like good, but they were programs. They weren't over-promising. They weren't doing something. They were just programs. You know, he's like, I read a lot of books, which he didn't. It was bullshit, but it doesn't matter.
I read 100 books a day.
Yeah, he fucking ain't reading a fucking book. So he fucking some whore somewhere in like Budapest or something all the time. So there's nothing, like half his stories are like with whores trying to decide what ethnicity they are because it's entertaining for the gram. It doesn't make sense. So it doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is like there is a pattern in these, and the more you see these patterns, the more you start to realize that there has to be something that doesn't add up. And this is the reason why some of these guys, they come, they talk about these cars, and then the cars disappear silently. You know, they come, they go, and they're like, I
have a Bugatti.
And then a little bit, like you'll see it a little bit, but you won't see it again. Like I've had my Bugatti for like almost 4 years. Yeah. People have seen it for 4 fucking years. So like you don't see it on a rental site. You don't see it somewhere. I tried to sell it 3 times. It's been for sale. And I didn't get the right offer. I said, hey, I'm going to keep this. I haven't gotten anything better to replace it with. If I do one day, I'll replace it with something better. If it makes financial sense.
Like the blue one.
Yes, and if it did, it would have been replaced. It didn't, so it passed. You know,
going in, still keeping in the same vein. I wanted to talk about this because someone came out on Ballabusters talking about
Wes Watson again.
The Wes Watson one-on-one coaching. Yo, if I pay you 20 grand and you scream at me like that, dude, we're gonna have an issue.
Yeah, but this is the new. So this has been the new masculine norm. These guys think that masculine energy comes from just overriding reality through tough pain, and tough pain will be the reason I make it, because we've kind of fed people that they're soft now. So these tough leaders, like this idiot and Andy Elliott, which are fucking phenomenal fucking morons, are like at the core of these programs where they just yell at people and pretend they're actually fucking doing something. It's like, I'm telling you, they just follow trends like monkeys. They come, they line up, and they go. And in their personal life, they're way more confused than this. But part of the reason the yelling comes from is that they don't know how to coach or talk at anything. If you actually watch all the interviews with the giraffe or this fucking midget, which, listen, I'm a short guy. I have no problem saying I'm 5'7". I don't wear heels that make me 3 inches taller. And no, you know, I don't have an arrest record, so you'll never know if I'm really 5'7", 5'11", or 6 foot tall.
That's how that came out.
He's 5'8". It doesn't matter. He's short and he's got a lot of steroid muscles, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like that's his choice on how he lives his life. But the problem with these guys is they just impose this shit as if it's a matter of success because they can't talk about anything. If you actually listen to any of their shit, they don't have any view in business.
Yes.
And then same with the other giraffe. When he was doing an interview, he's talking about like buying property. He doesn't know anything about properties. He's talking about making investments, doesn't know anything about investments, using very generic terms. Google so who do you impress? Children. 18, 25-year-old kids with dreams that don't fucking understand anything will go to their credit card and be like, this is my hope, this is my answer. And that's what I mean when I say you defraud people like that. It's just a huge risk, you know?
It's crazy. Well, I think that rounds out the clown show.
Yeah, so, you know, starting with Mark, whatever the fuck his name was.
Mark Shapiro, and we end up with Wes Watson.
And I recommend, I'm even wearing a shirt here to support them today. Everyone should go and support Ballerbusters.
Yes, absolutely.
Go follow that page.
Like and
subscribe. It's the best page you can follow on the internet. If you're always concerned about who's the clown, who's the next thing, these fucking idiots, like the guys that end up on this page, absolute fucking morons.
Holy shit.
And the more they fight back pretending it's not them, the more they keep finding shit on them. I would really recommend people look at this page and also follow John Bravo TV because he does really good investigative journalism. He has
another thing about Wes too.
Yeah, he has a thing for Wes Watson too recently. Like he keeps calling him a giant piece of shit.
He just keeps coming up, and like every other day is a new thing in my feed. Yeah. Like his girls talking shit about him now because he's always doing coke in the house.
That's the thing. You know, cartoons always attract cartoons.
Yeah.
So it's just
because you see through them.
Yeah, just naturally what it is. They just see each other as like these guys get it because they're printing money like
these guys. No, you don't.
Complete morons. Anyways, moving on past the clown show. We've had enough of this shit.
Yeah.